So, this Kitab Al-Tawheed. So, when you hear Kitab Al-Tawheed, the first person who comes to you is Ibn Taymiyyah, rahimahullah, is the one who wrote. So, نعم. No. Like the people they wrote and the people after them they command their sharh. So this one doesn't have a tahqiq, but this tahqiq wasn't a sharh. Mu'tamin has sharh and Shafur doesn't have a sharh, but we get this one. This one we don't need a sharh. So they call it Silsilat Turath Salafi, the chain of the Salafis' inheritance. Turath is heritage. Yes. Kitab Tawheed. Heritage. I get closer. Rather get closer so you can hear what I'm saying. So Kitab Tawheed مع إخلاص العمل والوجه لله عز وجل. You can say مع إخلاص العمل لوجه الله, but مع إخلاص العمل والوجه لله عز وجل. Yes, العمل والوجه لله, like متجها بالدائرة to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So the Shaykh al-Islam Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah. Wa alaykum as-salam. So Shaykh al-Islam, he's known by Shaykh al-Islam rahimahullah, but we'll go to his full name. So tahqiq, we know what tahqiq is. Tahqiq is authenticated. So who authenticated this book? Like, not because the book is, but the writings and, make sure that also tahqiq, like bring the ahadith and all those things. Nah. So this is Muhammad al-Sayyid al-Julaynid. Nah. So this is the one who makes the tahqiq. Nah. So we're just gonna go right away to the same thing here. Al-Julaynid is from Egypt. Yeah, Julaynid is from Egypt, so I don't know. Okay. So Al-Muqaddimah, what is Muqaddimah? Introduction. So this is the introduction of the Sheikh. No, the introduction about the Sheikh. So first, نشأته وحياته, his upbringing and his life, his childhood and his life. So هو الإمام, he's the Imam. هو الإمام, he's the Imam. So if you say هو الإمام, you have to bring detail about, like you're going to say هو الإمام because we don't have one Imam, right? So هو الإمام تقي الدين is going to be what? Huh?
Shield of the religion?
No, but the nahu part of it. A lot of badala here. Yes. So you're gonna have a lot of badal here. But huwa al-imam, like the imam was given to him. He didn't call himself imam, or his father didn't call him imam, right? So Taqiyuddin Abu al-Abbas. So Taqiyuddin, that's his name.
That's his name.
Yes, Taqi. Like if Taqiyuddin was given to him, but we'll go to his name. Abu al-Abbas. What is Abu al-Abbas?
Father Abbas.
Yeah, this kunya. Abu al-Abbas. His kunya. You have to know some people, they have kunya. He was never married.
Or Aisha.
Huh?
Or Aisha.
Yeah, Aisha, Abu Abdullah, right? So Shaykh al-Islam didn't have a wife. Never. Ahmad bin Abdul Halim bin Imam Majduddin Abi al-Barakat Abdul Salam Abi Muhammad Abdullah bin Abi al-Qasim Muhammad ibn al-Khadr. Here I will stop you a little bit. But so this all his grandfathers, right? Ibn Ali ibn Abdullah ibn Taymiyyah al-Harrani. So that's why they call him Ibn Taymiyyah al-Harrani. So he's from Harran. So we summarize all these names, but you don't have to. But what the most important thing, Taqiyuddin, they have not Taqiyuddin, Faqih Taqiyuddin. So most likely, if they say Shaykh Islam Taqiyuddin, Abil Abbas, that's him. We have another Abu Abbas also. We have another Abu Abbas al-Muhaddith. So, but we wanna pick something from here.
That's his unique.
That's we will know him about. Like if we wanna quote about him, either we use the most famous name, Shaykh al-Islam, or you can use Taqiyuddin or Abu Abbas. We can say Shaykh al-Islam. At least you should find something unique. At least Shaykh al-Islam is like everybody knows Shaykh al-Islam. Like every person who learned about the Deen really, after him has to know about him. It's just like he was actually Shaykh al-Islam. He has 13 mas'ala that he went against the fuqaha, all of them, and he has more proofs. I'll bring you all those masail that he went against the fuqaha, masail fiqhiyya. So he was not just a muhaddith, but he was a faqih. He was a faqih. Naam. So this is his birth. ولد بحران في يوم الاثنين العاشر من شهر ربيع الأول. So ربيع الأول is a lot of ulama they were born in ربيع الأول. نعم. هاجر به والده إلى دمشق عندما أغار التتار على بلاد الإسلام. So he's from Sham originally, from Iraq originally, but his father migrated, Hajara. His father migrated bihi with him. Hajara bihi waliduhu. Actually, the reason of the migration of his father was because of him. Hajara bihi. Yeah, bisababihi. So his father migrated because of him to Sham. And he said that was the time when Tatar, we know Tatar, right? Remember Tatar, right? Okay, you have to know about Tatar. The Tatar,
Is that before the Mongols or were the Tatar Mongols?
Tatar,
Tatar. Oh, yeah.
Tatar. Yeah, you know Tatar.
Yeah.
They are the Mongols.
They are the Mongols?
Yeah, Tatar are the Mongols. Yeah, Tatar, they are the Mongols. So, when Tatar attacked there was the Dawla Abbasiyya, when they brought Dawla Abbasiyya down in Iraq, in Baghdad. So at that time, there was chaos in there. But Baghdad was capital of knowledge. Most of this Western, knowledge was, invented in Baghdad. Back in the days, it was not like today. Dawla Abbasiyya, the Abbasid dynasty, they lasted 777 years. Yeah, no, 770. Sab'a, Sifr.
Is this Salahuddin Ayyubi?
No,
Or
after
is that
after the
he
fall.
comes after
Yes,
them,
after
okay.
the fall. So the fall of Dawla Abbasi. So Dawla Umayyah, it was the Umayyad dynasty. There were about if I still remember, 400, and Dawla Abbasi came to 770. Very strong. Very, 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 very strong. Very strong. Things changed, but they could have conquered the whole entire world. Yeah. Then they fall, and then they become duelat, like portions of
Before the fall, they were
fall. They were no unique dynasty for Muslims. Dawla Uthmaniyya came and unified the Muslims under one dynasty again. So under Dawla Abbasiyya was Ahd al-Nabawi, the Sahaba. Then you have Umayyah, part of the Sahaba. You have Abbasi. But they were rivals. So Abbasi are the one who brought Dawla Umayyah down. By this guy, in the hands of this guy, Safah. What is his name? Abu Abbas Safah. Yeah.
Safah,
Yeah. Safah. He was given nickname Safah, the killer.
bloodshed.
Huh?
The bloodshed.
The bloodshedder. Yes. Because anyone that he knows, if you're gonna put yourself in a position of ruling, you will bring a lot of blood on Day of Judgment. Yeah. So he has to kill everybody who is loyal to the Abbasiyya. Dawla Umayyah. Have to bring them down. So when I bring that's why they said in when are you recording this? Yeah, it's a political thing, but when they said when Mursi took the government in Egypt, he made a big mistake because he didn't apply the rules of engaging in leadership. Yes. Yeah, he could have bring everybody down. Everybody who's loyal to that's the mistake. Yeah, this is politics. Now, so he in Tatar, and you can look more about Tatar. Now, so he's from Iraq and he migrated to Dimashq. And most of the ulama, in this time, even after them, even Dawla Uthmaniyya, most of them, Dimashq was, number one, Dimashq was always peaceful, until now maybe. Always peaceful, always welcoming, always knowledge there. So people, when chaos happens, they always run to Dimashq. Yes.
I think it's different. Is it run to
yes, Bilad al-Sham.
That's right.
Yeah. Nah. So when they say Bilad al-Sham, back in Dimashq was the capital. They call Damascus, right? Nah. وفي دمشق استقر المقام به وبأسرته. He said وفي دمشق, in Dimashq استقر, he resided. he استقر المقام به.
Permanent.
Yes, استقر المقام is, yeah, it's like استقر. This is what, like for example, if you recite the Quran, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala talked about the Safinatu Nuh. واستقر على الجودي. So استقرت على الجودي, like the boat استقر, resided.
Or settled.
Settled, yes. Settled. Like settling is not just, like when you look at it linguistically, not, okay, it's, okay, you're going, you suddenly just said, this is it. I'm not going anymore. So the boat also went on, boom, one time. It will never go again because it's dry, right? So that's istiqrar. So that's why he said, because they were running for their life with their family. وفي دمشق استقر المقام به وبأسرته. Him and his family, they resided and permanently stayed in دمشق. وهو ما زال غلاما يافعا في باكورة الصبا. Okay. وهو ما زال غلاما. ما زال, we talk about ما زال. He was still. Yeah, he remained غلاما, a young boy. So mazala is kana wa akhawatuha. Right? Kana Allahu mazala. So, okay, now I'm going to trick you guys. Mazala ghulaman. Mazala has an ism. The ism has to be dam. Kana Allahu.
So the ghulaman is a mansub. That means is khabar.
Yes, ghulaman is khabaru zala.
Ism is huwa.
Huwa. So there's a dhamir that is hiding here. Mazala. He was. So he was still ghulaman, young boy. Yafi'an is just to use it like a ghulam, like a young, fresh child. Like when you want to say fresh child, like a child doesn't get fresh, but literally they can get fresh, right? Like they're old, they're just like breaking and then
it's
getting
innocent, like I think they say innocent here.
Innocent, right?
Pure. Yeah.
Pure, innocent, young,
yeah.
يافعا. نعم. في باكورة الصبا. In Bakur. Bakir. In the early young age. Yeah. نعم. Bukra. Anything Bakir. في باكر, like anything that is early. Like, Sabah al-Bakri. Early morning. So in the early young, Siba and Ghulam, they're almost the same thing.
صبي
But-
كمان صبي
صبي.
صبي okay صبي.
Yeah. So ghulam will be a boy that recognizes and everything. Sabi also can be the same thing. But sabi can be younger. Younger. That's why he bring them yafi'an. فلم يكن قد تجاوز السابع من عمره. He did not pass 7 years. Yeah, in his age. So now he's from Iraq. He came to Damascus. They settled down, running from Tatar, and they settled down in Damascus with his family, and he was still young. So now you can really always link him with Sham. His age and his family, and actually sometimes people will move because of their children. Yes. Some Somalis, they move to Kenya because of their children, right? So you see, so that's why this is very important. So when he said, Hajara bihi waliduhu. So it was not only him, but because of him, his parents. Shaykh Al-Bani, the same thing. Because of him, his parents moved. Because of the war in Albania. Yes, he ran with him. So you see, bad thing happened, but great thing happened. Bad thing happened for good thing to happen. So he become he could have, like, if he would have stayed in Albania, he will not have access to that knowledge. No, he will not. He will not have that opportunity to have the most important thing in the dunya, to be identified as Mujaddid al-Zaman, as the revival of the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ within these 100 years. Albani. So also, the Prophet ﷺ, every 100 years, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will send somebody to revive the Sunnah, the Hadith, to protect to revive the Sunnah of the Prophet ﷺ. So Sheikh Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah al-Harrani, he was identified as a Mujaddid al-Zamani. Just like Sheikh Albani also is identified as a Mujaddid al-Zamani.
So between them there's 100?
Oh yeah, there's 100. Yeah, there's 100 between them.
Sheikh,
It's more than 100.
I have a question about the words for a boy before he reaches the age of understanding. Can you tell me those words again? So what is it called? Like, what is a boy called before he reaches the age of understanding, and then when he reaches the age of understanding?
So Sabi here, okay, we're talking about like the fiqh, like the rulings, right? So you have al-Mumayyiz. Mumayyiz is the one that understands.
Mm-hmm.
So the opposite of ghulam is tricky. Ghulam, you can call a big boy a ghulam. But a ghulam is going to be maybe 4, 5, 6 to 7, because the hadith of Prophet ﷺ, when he was talking to the young boy, and he was teaching him something that is part of the deen. So I think it's more appropriate for that boy to be at least around 7. And his name was Umar ibn Abi Salama, right? Ya ghulam sammillah. Naam. Also Musa alayhi salam, what they call his Musa, what did he say? His boy. Musa and Khidr.
Oh, and when he said خلقنا مستفرنا.
No, before that.
In Surah
When
Kahf.
he told them to bring the fish or bring the food.
Yeah. What did he say?
غلام الآية وجدها عبدا من عبادنا آتيناه رحمة وعلمنا من لدنا علما.
But before that,
Before that,
at the beginning of the so the knowledge is a network. You have to be able to bring all of it. Now, okay, I will leave with that one. So that ghulam, you have the ghulam, which can be somebody who recognizes, right? But then being like mumayyiz, these are like fiqh terms.
Okay, fiqh.
So sabi you can use it in a fiqh term. So you use al-mumayyiz, they use al-mumayyiz.
Okay.
So there is mumayyiz, the opposite of it is
غير مميز.
al-baligh.
هو البارد.
See? So that's why min shurut al-imam. And also they have, and the one I want to brought, they have something called fata. Yeah, fata is.
That's the one in the
Yeah,
story.
yeah, fata. So قال موسى لفتاه. So fata is somebody who, a teenager.
Teenager, okay.
Teenager, not a youth, but a teenager, like younger than
It's like
a youth, teenager. But the term that you wanted is mumayyiz is the one that is not baligh, but they are mumayyiz. They did not reach the age of puberty, but they know what they do. They recognize things,
they know what they do.
good and bad.
They can differentiate.
From right, yeah, they can differentiate from right and wrong. So that person is kind of responsible, you know, for things, but he is not accountable for it. So that's a mumayyiz. So then you have al-baligh is the one that is responsible and accountable. That's a baligh. So then you have sabi. Sabi is, they don't use it in fiqh, except if they come with when this young sabi can be from birth, you know.
It's infancy.
Yeah.
Infant.
It's janeen.
Janeen is infant.
Yes. So sabi can be used, but like janeen is like the
Newborn?
huh?
Newborn?
Janeen. But sabi, we'll use it in fiqh only if they pee on you.
Oh, is it like
It's
a
a baby.
toddler or something?
Toddler, yeah. Like for example, yeah, something like that. Yeah. So if they pee on you, نعم إذا بال الصبي على ثوب أحدكم. Yeah. They will not use, of course, if they say fata, if a youth pee on you, you should punch them, right? If a mumayyiz do the same thing, if a baligh, so they use sabi, you know, at least younger. Nah.
Without eating, he didn't reach to the age where he eats food.
Yeah, that is going to make taqasal.
Once he eats, that's it.
It's going to cause a lot of ikhtilafat. Yes, a lot of ikhtilafat here. They eat, they don't eat, whatever. It's going to take us another way. So, al-Muhim, you get this, right?
Yep.
So, then they resided in Dimashq, and he was like around 7, you know, فَلَمْ يَكُنْ قَدْ تَجَاوَزَ. That's why he's very careful. He said, that the person who was writing his bio, he said, he did not pass 7. So it could have been 5, could have been 4, but he was certain that he didn't pass 7. Yes. So he didn't pass 7. Now, فَنَشَأَ مُحِبًّا لِلْعِلْمِ وَالْعُلَمَاءِ. So this is where the فَنَشَأَ, we're talking about nasha, right? What do we say about it?
It's kind of like grow up.
He grew up muhibban, loving lil-ilm, the knowledge, loving knowledge, wal-ulama, and the people of knowledge. If you love knowledge and you don't love people of knowledge, where are you going to get it? If you love the people of knowledge and you don't love knowledge, it's even better. But it's not good.
Better than the one before.
Yes. So Ali, he used to say, Ali ibn Abi Talib, he used to say, kun aliman. He said, be a scholar. He said, you have to force yourself to be, convince yourself to be a scholar. Aw muta'alliman. If you're going to be an alim, be a seeker of knowledge, seek a learner. Muta'alliman. أو كن عالما ومتعلما أو محبا للعلم والعلماء, or be the lover of the knowledge and the people of knowledge. That's 3. He said, do not be the fourth one. Yes, do not be the fourth one. The fourth one is the one that hates the knowledge and the people of knowledge. Now, don't be fatahlak. You will be destroyed. You will be destroyed. Now, so we know one character of him when he was young, even before 7, he loved the people, he loved the knowledge. He would seek the knowledge in a very young age, and he loved the people of knowledge. Now, لا يلوي على شيء غير اشتغال بالعلم ومجالسة العلماء. لا يلوي, he will not be distracted from anything. He will not be busy doing anything else except being occupied or occupying himself or making himself busy learning knowledge, بالعلم, not learning, not taking the knowledge, or sitting with the ulama. So he's either learning or he's sitting with them. So that's, we want to say, like today we're going to try with his hobby was either to sit with the ulama or learning. Anything else, he just have to do it. But it's not what makes him happy. That's
rare. It's a blessing.
That is a blessing. Like when you are like that, like things that you love is knowledge and the people of knowledge, that's it, you are being prepared. But some people, we want to learn, we didn't like sitting there and learning till it become like we have to be forced. So, but this kid, no one needs to force him. So maybe his father saw this from him and has to save him. He had to, save him and do something for him that he will. Naam. وَكَانَ وَالِدُهُ عَالِمًا. So the opportunity he had was, of course, if he loves knowledge and the people of knowledge, he will not get bored being next to his father. Right? Because كَانَ وَالِدُهُ عَالِمًا. His father was a scholar. Yeah. So then that will give him opportunity to spend more time with his father. Because his father was a alim. And when they say alim, at that time, it's a alim. Not this time alim. It's this alim. He said, كَانَ عَالِمًا مُقَدِّمًا فِي الْحَدِيثِ وَعُلُومِهِ. So his father was very advanced. He was a very advanced scholar in hadith. So, of course, then, we know exactly where is he coming from. So his father was very advanced in the knowledge of hadith and in hadith and the knowledge of hadith. في الحديث in hadith وعلومه. So hadith is something and ulum al-hadith something. So hadith is the knowledge, hadith is the hadith. But there's something called knowledge of hadith, which is what we do, mustalah. Knowledge of hadith, the rijal is part of knowledge of hadith. The silsila is part of knowledge of hadith, and how to authenticate them is knowledge of hadith, and knowing the hadith of the weak hadith and the authentic hadith. All this is part of knowledge of hadith. So his father knows the hadith and also knows the knowledge of hadith in a very advanced level. مما جعل ابن تيمية شغوفا. He said, made Ibn Taymiyyah shaghuf. Shaghuf is something that you love without a limit. You cannot get satisfied from it. Yeah, and this is the shaghuf. But if you go to Surah Yusuf, the ladies in the city, they said, وقالت نسوة في المدينة امرأة العزيز تراود فتاة النفس قد شغفها حبا. They said the wife of the king, the Aziz, is exposing herself to this, to her boy.
Consider like she was blinded.
She was like, she obsessed. شغفها حبا. Yes. So he was obsessed with knowledge. That's the exact. So he was obsessed with knowledge. Of course, if you have to be obsessed with something, I think let it be with knowledge. Let it be a good thing. It's a good obsession. So, كان شغوفا. شغوف is شغف يشغف شغوفا. شغوف is the masdar. So he was
made obsessed.
He was obsessed. Yeah. What is the shaghuf on here?
Is it passionate?
No. This one is more crazy than compassion. Yeah, this is just, you cannot be detached from it. Compassion is more, it's very close to emotions and feelings and, yeah. But this one is just, you're crazy about it. So It's obsession, right? شغوفا شغوفا بالاشتغال بالحديث ورجاله. He was obsessed in being busy with the hadith and
People.
and the men
Man, okay.
of hadith, the chain of the chain of the hadith, rijal. So when they say rijal, when they say rijal, they don't mean me and you. They mean specific rijal. When Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says in the Quran, rijalun la tulhihim, he meant certain men who business will not distract from worshipping Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So when they say in hadith rijal, they meant the people who narrated the hadith, people who are in those chains.
Is that isnad?
Isnad is when you put the hadith, when you say the hadith is so rijal, ilm rijal is kind of different. So rijal is just the yes,
Biographies of the men.
the chain of the man,
Yes.
like not their biography, but this hadith is narrated by so this person. Those are the rijal. Isnad is to take the hadith and put it on somebody else. It's kind of the same thing, but it's different. So there's ilm al-sanad, ilm al-isnad, ilm al-rijal. So you may learn only the rijal by themselves, by not putting them in chains. Like they can have the rijal, like you learn about their bios and where they live, how old were they, were their students, were their teachers, and all those things. The ilm al-rijal, right?
Okay.
And then you have ilm al-isnad. This hadith, it was
Connected to this person or that person?
yeah. So it was connected with this person. That's isnad, the connections.
Okay.
This hadith was connection. That's why Imam Ahmad, he has a book isnad, book called isnad. So he has Musnad Imam Ahmad. So isnad is when you
Yeah, it's connection.
lean, when you against yourself towards something. That's isnad. So like where the ahadith are against you, it's isnad. So when you against one hadith here, that is the end of the hadith, right? So it's against. So how this is the last person against the hadith too. So that's isnad, right? So then from there to the Prophet alayhi salatu wasalam. That is the silsila. Yes. Yes, that's the silsila, the chain. Yes, that's why they have, every silsila they have a name for the silsila. Dhahabiyya, silsila, all those things, right? So he was very obsessed, and good obsession, right? In working very hard in the hadith, bil hadithi wa rijalihi, under the chain of the hadith, the man of the hadith. Are we out of time? ولما نزل دمشق ذاع فضله واشتهر أمره وكانت له حلقات للدرس بمسجد دمشق. نعم. So when he came to Damascus, he learned. Now they're making talkhis here. You hear of talkhis?
Summarizing or?
Yeah. So this is very tricky. So we want to say, who is he referring to here?
The father?
We're about to find out.
Where?
So ولما نزل دمشق. ولما نزل دمشق. Where the damir is going from?
He's going to the father.
Are you sure? دمشق ذاع فضله واشتهر أمره وكان له حلقات درس في مسجد دمشق. You know why? It's not the father. الضمير, so if you have two things. الضمير يعود الأقرب.
That's the father, right?
No, الأقرب. وكان والده عالما مقدما في الحديث وعلومه ما جعل ابن تيمية.
ما جعل ابن تيمية.
نعم. شغوفا بالاشتغال بالحديث ورجاله. ولما نزل هو ابن تيمية. دمشق. So he kind of like fast forward. when he was in Damascus, learn and become old and ذاع فضله ذاع spread فضله his virtues واشتهر become famous أمره his affairs وكانت له حلقات يعني كانت له حلقات هذه حلقات للدرس بمسجد دمشق. So he started like having حلقات lessons in the Masjid of Damascus. Masjid of Damascus is very famous. Is a big masjid in Damascus, and it was built by Muawiyah. Yeah, they still have it. In Damascus there is a renovation, but it's a very old masjid, and it's a masjid of knowledge. It's a masjid of knowledge. This is where the capital of Dawla Umayyah was in Damascus. وتولى مشيخة الحديث بدار سكرية التي كانت مقيما بها والتي كانت أولى مدارس العلم تظنت ابن تيمية وهو ما زال في سن الصبا. So he said he became the Sheikh of Hadith. وتولى he took over. وتولى he became مشيخة الحديث. He could have just said Sheikh al-Hadith. Mashayikh al-Hadith. I have a lot of people who have knowledge of Hadith, but you go all the way here, because of even his young age, في سن الصبا, he was still in a young age, but he become the most knowledgeable Sheikh in Ilm al-Hadith, in that is Sakriya. So this is a place that they used to live, and التي كان مقيما بها والتي كانت أولى مدارس العلم التي احتضنت. So this is Dar Sakriya is a school where they used to live, and it was a school of Hadith, and this is where he went. It's the first school that adopted him. Like you can say, they gave him the admission to learn. So he learned a little bit, and he become the most knowledgeable person in that place, in that institution. Even though he was still young. So he fled from the war, went to Damascus with his father. His father came to Damascus, still young, loved knowledge, next to the ulama, learning, and suddenly he became so he learned very fast, very quick, So he said, حفظ القرآن الكريم وما زال في سن الصبا. He memorized the Quran still, around 7. Yeah, he memorized the Quran. ثم اتجه, then he moved, he took a direction إلى تحصيل العلوم في الحديث والفقه وصول علم الكلام. So at that time, you have to memorize the Quran at a very young age if you wanna compete. He went في علوم الحديث, in علم الحديث والفقه, in fiqh والأصول. Talking about الأصول, right? وعلم الكلام. علم الكلام is falsafa. Philosophy. Yes. He is very good in philosophy. This is what makes him that's why he knows exactly that when you don't. That's why he used to say, علم كل شيء أفضل من جهله. Knowing everything is better than being ignorant about it, even if it is bad. That's why he used to say, learn sihr but don't use it. So he is this person. He is unique, and you're gonna see a lot. I will not skip anything about him. You will learn everything about him because he is a unique person when it comes to. So we know this, right? So we're gonna stop here. So he memorized Quran when he was very young, and he started learning Hadith, become a sheikh in the halaqat of the Hadith in the institution while being very young. Learn Hadith, fiqh, usul, which is the most difficult, and ilm al-kalam. Back in the days in Dawla Abbasi, if you don't learn ilm al-hadith, because the Greek, the Greeks and the Romans, they used to come and challenge them in ilm al-kalam. Ilm al-kalam is falsafa, it's philosophy. And so they have to, and they used to use the philosophy to attack the deen, attack the Quran, and the philosophy was very, very, very famous because back in that's all they have.
Where was it originated? It's originated from the Greek,
Yes, Greece too.
Like every nation they have their own philosophy, but the Greeks they were very strong, and the Romans, when it comes to even the Indians they have their own philosophy. So they all, it's just like America now. Everybody bring their own knowledge, you know, and build institutions. So they used to have institutions in Sham, institutions in Iraq, you know, just to teach people philosophy, you know. And when things after that, you know, philosophy moved to Istanbul, it moved to Egypt, and it resided in Egypt. In Egypt, it lasted in Egypt for so long, but then it impacted some of the ulama of the Muslims, and they call them Ahlul Kalam, you know, people of talkative people. So they kind of like, instead of like, when you say falsafa, it was cool, but they did a very good move, say, okay, let's change the name, because it disturbed the people. If you will go, maybe if you have the chance to learn about Abu Hanifa rahimahullah, you will see was a big philosophy also. You know, he learned ilm al-falsafa. So back in the days, you have to have ilm al-falsafa in order to. So he, in an early age, he learned ilm al-kalam, which is ilm al-falsafa. Now, okay, we're going to stop there.